There, it should be working. I believe it's working.
It is working.
It's working. Happy Friday, Tea Time Ascension Talk, everyone.
Happy, beautiful Memorial Day weekend.
Happy Venus Friday. Welcome, everyone. Let's check the audio here real quick. Let's check the audio. Can you see us? Whoever is on, can you just say hello and let us know? Can you hear us? We are on my new laptop because my other laptop transitioned to spirit side on Saturday. So I just want to make sure the audio is actually coming in. Are you able to hear? Hello, Christina. Thank you so much. Oh, good. Thank you, Claudio. Hello, blessings.
Good morning,
so
Christina.
The audio is coming in. Visual is good.
Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning. Thank you for that feedback. That helps tremendously. We want to make sure you can hear us just fine. So, happy Friday, tea time. My goodness, we have so much to share. So let's see what you're drinking. Hello, Christina Ramirez. Perfect. Welcome, welcome. We're going to wait for a few more people to join us. So I have my my unicorn cup today sharing with you. This was my birthday gift. And it's quite interesting because it has this little thing here. So when I drink it, Michael didn't really like it, vibe with it, but I like it. Yeah.
It's just interesting to have like a little horn or a little point at that because it's usually the round cup is easier.
Yeah, it's a little strange when you have ears and horn and trying to drink out of it, but it's good. So we have today our Michael, you brewed this today because I was busy running around. What did you do?
Mangosteen tea.
The mangosteen peel tea.
Yeah, mangosteen peel tea.
Hi, Sunshine Love. Much
Good morning,
to see.
Sunshine Love.
Much love. Welcome. So what are you all drinking? What tea do you have? Please share with us before we begin. Oh, it's hot. Oh, I love it. No, I love it. I love it. I love hot tea. So
Add some water to it?
Yeah, no. I like it. You know what it is?
And did you get the bottom of the teacup?
No. It's just that I'm used to that. It's wider, bigger, and this is like
smaller.
It's chubbier, and then all this heat is going in, and and I like my tea hot, but this is a little.
Well, you're drinking at the unicorn.
Maybe it's activating as I'm drinking it. So what are you all drinking? Sunshine Light, what are you having? Michael, I can't read.
She's having a papaya smoothie.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. And Christina?
She's having a matcha
tea. I love it. So good. Do you make yours with almond milk or coconut milk or cashew milk? Sometimes I make it, but sometimes it becomes very strong because I make it with we have the foamer, and you don't necessarily like it when I make it like that, right?
No, I like it.
Okay, it's good. Matcha tea. We love all teas. We really welcome tea because I feel it's so important to just put a cup of tea, like my grandmother would say, and just come join. Just put your feet up. She would say, Rula, pahato bezar bala. Chai biyar, chai bekhor. So she would say that and just come, and I would be all hustling and bustling, kind of like today, how busy it was. And then I would just come sit with her with a tea. And at what point I will definitely have the tea cafe, the tea lounge cafe that I've had this vision for years. One day this will happen. Because I have such an infinite love for tea. So thank you so much for joining us on this Venus Friday, very busy week, and having tea with us middle of your day because you deserve it. And it's important for you to just take this time for you. And as we get to share what's been happening. So what else are you seeing, Michael, there?
Sunshine, when you drink tea, it's usually chamomile and lemon, which is a very beautiful
nice.
Combination. Chamomile, very peaceful, relaxing, and lemon always adds a nice little squeeze to the tea.
Sure. Beautiful. And for those of you who are joining in, thank you. For some of you, we already know, because Claudia, we see your name. Christina, we see your name. Sunshine Line, we know who you are. You know, the light of healing. I love your name. Thank you so much. If you can just put your name there, so it will be great as well, so we can recognize who is there. So we have so much to talk about. Wow. We have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Michael, where do you want to start? Let's start with you. Let's start with you, because this looks really good on you. So I want to show you, this is one of the crystalline diamond creations that I made, and then Michael felt he had to have it. So Michael, show it a little bit. This is with the agate and fluorite and the amethyst and the halide and the clear quartz, and this special sacred amethyst that's traveled for 4 years, many different parts of the world. And how does that one feel?
It's beautiful.
It's fully activated, that one.
It's very nice. I like how the fluorite works within all the different colors and shades throughout the mala.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful.
It feels really great. And it's been interesting, because whichever I make, Michael's like, I like that one. I like that one too. This one I created, so he felt he needed to. He's like, let that one for us too. So, but we've had a lot
Maria,
of it.
I remember Maria. Maria, she had a healing session.
Oh, hi, Maria.
So.
Oh, hi, May.
So, but.
Let's start with you, Michael, because we have 2 weeks to catch up on, and then we had this powerful Buddha, Christ, Maitreya, the Mahatma frequency on the planet this weekend with the full moon. We are all coming off of full moon. How is everybody doing? And I want to start with you, because you and I didn't talk like what's been happening, because there's been so much happening this week, you know, and we said, let's just leave it for here.
Well, so, I knew this morning. I woke just feeling a little off, sometimes dreams, sometimes energy, and just sometimes just the intensity of what we're all moving through, it eventually catches up. And I know that when there's a lot of times when there is a sensation of giving lots of energy and being of service, and just being present, that it's very important to take that time within. So I realized this morning when I woke up, I just felt a little frustrated, a little tired. My sleep was a little shaky. So immediately when I woke up, I just grabbed the paddleboard and went directly to our beautiful Black Hill Regional Park, which is right around the corner from us, where we can just dock our paddleboard and paddle out. And it was a really beautiful experience today, because I felt that
you left early. You left like at 6:30.
Around 7. I just felt that instead of just even communicating, I wanted to just go directly to the water, and always knowing how water for me is just my safe haven, just to really let go and just to use that as a way to wash everything away, wash things, and just see not so much of what the frustration was, but just to allow all the energy to move through. So immediately when I got on the paddleboard, I received the message of, one thing I spoke to Honey earlier during breakfast is, as sensitive beings, light workers, empaths, mediums, we're very receptive to feeling so many people's energies, so many of us. And when we're so sensitive, our emotions, especially our emotional body, is very vulnerable. And I feel it's one of the most powerful things we can do is really just be mindful of when our emotions rise, of where do we direct those emotions? Because there's nothing wrong or right of what comes up. It's actually beautiful to acknowledge the full range of emotions, to express it, to allow that to come forward. But to initially direct it toward anyone, then we have to be very mindful of heartful, mindful of where and why it's happening, because it's our responsibility. And the reason I say that is because when I got on the paddleboard today, I just received the message not to give my power away to my emotions. And I recognize as a little child, even to now, when my emotions are sensitive, I really feel them. When I really feel them, it's important for me to feel them, but not really take that anger out, that frustration out on anyone around me. Yeah. And it's such an empowering message for all of us, because a lot of us when we look at our mental bodies, when we look at our spiritual body, when we look at our physical body, a lot of our emotional bodies are the areas where we kind of get ourselves in trouble, where we actually allow that energy to pull us into certain directions. And so in the time of just
meaning we're acting from the emotional body,
right, like we're coming,
and the emotional body is not the heart,
right. And so in these feelings of the emotions, a lot of times we repress them. A lot of times there's opportunities where we're just like, well, I'm not going to deal with them. I'm not going to deal with them. And they just build and build and build and build, especially when we're really busy. And I find that sometimes in this area, things can get moving very, very quickly. So going to nature today, it was wonderful just to go into the board, paddle out, and just let the wind direct me where I was going. And I thought it was very powerful to get to a point, because where I wanted to do my morning prayer, the wind kept moving me to the left, to the right, and to like different areas of shade. So I paddled all the way to where there's a part that's narrow and it comes open to like this huge lake. And so I just sat there and I went in and I said, okay, I'm just gonna let go and let God and just trust. And wherever the wind blows, I'm just gonna allow it. And for the first time ever, it was interesting to close my eyes, go into prayer, and just to trust how the board was going to go. And so as I sat there, there were a couple of times I opened, and as the more I let
were you sitting in a lotus or were you laying down?
Lotus position.
Okay.
And the more and the more I just kept repeating the mantra, I'm letting go, I'm letting God, I'm trusting, I trust and I honor. I just started repeating, I'm letting go, I'm letting God, I'm trusting. And as I was doing it, the wind was blowing in either direction. In either way, I could have gone to the right shore, I could have gone to the left shore. But it was interesting how I just navigated completely straight until it opened up again. And it really gave me the message of when I can just trust, when I can let go, when I realize these emotions are there and that too shall pass. It was very powerful for me to honor what was coming through, because the more I kept breathing, the more I kept allowing, the more I surrendered and just flowed with what was moving around. Even if, when Honey was on the board, she's a little more sensitive to wind. When the water's a little more choppy, there tends to be just a little more anticipation of where we're going. And for me, surfing, being out in conditions that make these conditions like a little puddle, I just allowed to see where the waves, where the water, and what I say, ripples are going to take.
You said waves.
She says waves. I consider them ripples. And so as the board was moving, I just sat there and I just allowed and I breathed. And I just, as I was, meeting with the councils, the angels, the orders.
Go ahead and say that, Michael.
It was interesting just to allow myself just to completely trust that whatever I was moving through is exactly what I'm supposed to happen. Trust where I am within the world, trust what's happening in society. Every little piece that was pulling me in a direction, I just said, okay, this is exactly where we're supposed to be. This is exactly what's happening in this moment. Now all I can do is just accept. I'm not here to resist. I'm not here to fight. I'm just going to trust. And I kept breathing that right into my solar plexus. And the more I kept doing that, the lighter I started to feel. The lighter I felt the water washing over me. The lighter all of a sudden these little things start to just move. And I know within myself, it's like, usually what happens is it's like a little thing. And then all of a sudden there's another small area, and there's another small. And so all these little pieces start to pile up. Before I know it, then it's like the big bag whip comes up where it's like,
and like last night, your field, you could tell your field was just like congested.
Was congested.
But it was really good, because when you came back this morning, your energy was shifted. And I feel like when we are in sacred divine union, one of the things that Michael and I have learned, the minute we're not somewhere inside, we're not feeling aligned, we're not feeling right, and we can't articulate it, not voice it right away. Do what we know is best for us, our own medicine. So I offered, can I do anything? Michael said no, because he knew his own medicines before he speak anything, before he gives power to that presence that's within him. Take it straight to Mama Ocean, Mama Water, Mama Lake, the nature, and that's good, because otherwise you be speaking from that place, and it's hurtful often because you're not feeling right, and it's just, and there could be darts coming and you don't even mean to do it. So I feel that was very, and it was beautiful. You came, your energy was shifted, and it's a glorious morning here.
It's beautiful, and it's been very wild to see what's been happening this week, not only in the collective, but just with the weather, and we had massive rainstorms that came. And
it was crazy yesterday. For those of you who are in DC, I don't know where you were, but
on the news, what they said.
What did they say?
Well, they said massive tornadoes and massive shifts were going right through the Midwest, which I don't know if that was part of the front that came through, but it's interesting to watch what's happening within us, which obviously there's been lots of solar flares, there's been lots of energies coming off this full moon.
And then the G-storms
and there's been
all
these things happening. So to watch what's happening outside, but also to be mindful of how that's reflecting inside. So today was a beautiful day.
Heartful.
Heartful, mindful.
Heartful and mindful. To both of them.
To both. So it's interesting to bring forth what that awareness is, and for me to really surrender to it. I feel by surrendering to it, I still feel fragments of it, but part of it is to also honor myself, to be gentle, to nourish, and to really be soft in whatever's coming through, to allow it. And to really, what I find that's very empowering is also to watch my reaction of it. The more I can see how I'm reacting, the more I can see where I am in my own groundings.
Because when you're reacting, you're coming from a place of trigger, whereas when you're response is different frequency. And I feel it's very good we're sharing this, because this week there was a lot on a personal level for me too, and we're coming off this full moon weekend. Full moons, we always have a lot going on, and this particular full moon being very, very powerful full moon, we needed to know. I think she'll answer. That's okay. Okay. That was my mom. She's messaging. So it's okay.
Why I keep talking?
No, because I emailed her. So it's fine. So we're coming from the full moon of this Wesak festival. I don't know what you all did, where you were. We had a very beautiful, powerful ceremony here, very small circle. And it was very important because it was my belated birthday with my closest friends that I wanted to give them an experience for what I experienced with the Great White Brotherhood of Light on the full moon of Wesak. So for those of you that may not be aware, Wesak full moon in Taurus is one of the most powerful days. For me, it's the most powerful day of the year. And it's the energy of Christ, the energy of Buddha coming together. So it is the illuminated mind, the illuminated heart coming together in one frequency onto earth. And usually it is in the Himalayas where the gathering of the people come. And the reason why this day is so special, because it is the day that Buddha himself was, when he was Siddhartha, he was born. He also became enlightened on the same day on full moon, and he also transitioned into spirit side on the same day on this full moon. So there's a lot of incredible frequency of this love and compassion in that is available to us on the planet. And plus, in the Himalayas, the Great White Brotherhood of Light gather, and it has been said many times that Buddha himself or the Christ are able to materialize in form, so people are able to experience their vibration. And for those of us who are more multidimensional, we're able to experience them. And I gathered because 7 years ago I had a very powerful experience with the Great White Brotherhood of Light before they then sent me to Mount Shasta to experience this, because the Himalayas has this and also Mount Shasta. So anyway, make a long story short, we were around this blissful frequency and this incredible frequency with the people, so much love and around circles of love on so many places on earth and the full moon, and just really embracing these incredible shifts that are part of our ascension. Then afterwards, everything else that comes, like the storm that comes after it, because it's part of, like, we expand into this field. And this particular one, I kept saying, we've been accustomed to saying mindful, and we're past the mindful. For Ascension, it's really heartful, because we have, in the Western world, we have really so much given attention to the mind, and the mind has expanded so much. It's really time for the heart, and it is the alignment of the heart and the mind together as one.
When I say
which
mindful,
is the key.
it's usually the awareness or the mind of God. When I say mindful, it's
So
another
the
way of,
mind and heart of
yeah,
God.
right, because mindful can also be awareness too.
Absolutely.
So in that awareness, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, being mindful, being aware.
Right, which was very much, and that philosophy of they were very much about the mind.
Right.
They're not so much about the.
Right.
It's the. I mean, we can get into that
because
quite
it's
a bit.
It's the mind of God, the heart of God. So both are needed, but I completely agree.
Yeah, the mind of God is the third eye, the vision. The heart of God is the heart of God, like the divine. It's a frequency of all oneness, and this has to adjust to start coming in with here, and that's that, making that combination, which is the centerness. It is the sacred, that we talk about the sacred divine feminine, sacred divine masculine. That is the heart and the mind together, alignment, oneness. Hello, Demetrius. Welcome. So much love to see you. So anyway, so really busy. So just to wrap up, just to share a little bit. This week was very, very intense, because we had a very packed. Michael had sessions on Saturday. Had to get everything ready for our event Saturday night, and then we had a few parts with it. One was to just be in the meditation during the full moon, with everybody else around Earth. Then the other part of it was our mingling. Then Michael then had to take people into the forest for the fire ceremony for the full moon release. Then I was guiding individuals to go into the Himalayas, the Wesak Valley, to experience, if towards the end, experience Shambhala, if they could reach that place. Very, very powerful. So we came off of it so blessed out, so beautiful. Few of our friends had a lot of incredible experiences. Then the next day, Michael had his sacred divine male circle gathering to go kayaking and taking 5-6 hours being in the nature.
Well, I've been trying to organize it more frequently in between our travels, but it's been a beautiful vision to bring forth the sacred divine masculine men and really have that space to hold within each other, so we can really be open and honest with each other and be vulnerable from our hearts, express the areas that we may not be able to express, be with our beloveds or with our family or with individuals that we are in our normal circles. So it's been a gift to bring forth, as I want to expand it even to more of an open, that's closed because of the page that I made for it, but it's been a gift just to take these gentlemen out, because many of them haven't been out on the water, nor have they been in groups of men. So it's always a blessing
in a safe position where
sacred
male circle,
where they can feel the energy and know better to be on water, our feelings and emotions to express that. So right off of a very powerful evening and a quick turnaround, it was interesting to lead the men to a beautiful sacred hike, have them really stay in their heart and just feel nature and feel that energy as we walk through nature, what that does to them, taking notes of all the small things along the way, from the sacred geometry to the streams, just to the little pieces that nature's wisdom can touch within their heart. And then lead them out on kayaks, paddle boards, which we're grateful to have it in our backyard, right?
And it was so cute coming. I was the paparazzi for a little while, taking pictures of them, and it was so precious to see the joy when they first arrived. It was like they were all like worn out, like they've come from battlefield. And then when you guys made the walk, the hike, and then I met you to take the pictures, you could see like the boy energy, excited, the freedom, liberation, and it was, what a difference! Half an hour walk in the forest did. Yeah. It was incredible. Even yourself, like just the radiating and so precious, just preciousness. And while I needed just some time to just, my goodness, like just to gather myself, and all I wanted to do was go in deeper meditation so I can go to Shambhala, and because I've been working with so much of the frequencies, and And anyway, so we started the week with a lot happening because my husband, the father of my children, was going on his trip, so the boys had to spend the night, both Monday and Tuesday night. But they had gotten this is almost my 19-year-old, my 16-year-old that gotten into fight or argument, and so it was so interesting. So Monday and Tuesday, the day was spent talking to this one, between me spending time, Michael spending time, me spending time, and just very consciously speak through everything. Let them communicate their emotions, let them communicate the frustration, and really, as a teenager boys, to really express where the frustration is coming from, and also what they're seeing in each other that they don't like. So being that higher awareness. And I felt like for me as a mother, to not try to fix anything, to give validation to what they were feeling, and also not try to be like, no, your brothers, like what was done to you, or your siblings, you have to get along. No, I was like, you know what, you're right, give space to each other, and that was it. So let's take the personal responsibilities, what needs to be done. And there was a lot. It was just, I felt like there was a lot spent, and I couldn't be more grateful, Michael, for you spending that time with the boys, because the boys get to hear you as a sacred masculine, and like how you communicate. It's like a role model. It gave them permission to really communicate.
Mhm.
And both of them were very vocal, and it was interesting when they spent the night. They're like, we're not going to talk to each other. I said, no problem. We all sat down, watched a very funny movie together, and they didn't talk. And we said, no problem. I still made dinner. We were all there. I said, no problem. We can all be civil, be together, and you all have your differences, and there's no problem. Give each other space so you can process your own. And
it's interesting that I feel it's very interesting when we look at teenagers in their unexpressed emotions.
Mhm.
And even within ourselves, when we look at the teenager within ourselves, that time period where we have to really look at, well, how were we at that moment? Because there were a couple of times where it's very easy to be on the other side, be in the conscious area, being like, okay, this could happen, but it was beautiful how Honey brought back, well, when you were a teenager, how would you react to this? Where is that teenager area? Because a lot of our teenagers within us we're still going back and clearing a lot of that unexpressed energy. And that teenage energy is that rebel energy, that energy that, this is my way or the highway. It's all or nothing. And it's almost interesting when we look at our emotions, which part of us, even if you look from the child to the teenager to the adult to the elder, what portion of the four aspects of us holds a lot of the charge? And I feel the teenager is that era where our hormones, our body, our fluids, we're at a point where everything is conjuncting together too. So to be in that space with Honey's children was phenomenal, because I
feel it brought out some of our teenagers, because I know for me the next day we had to go with my mom to DC for her settlement, and that was the crazy day 522. I felt like, because I could feel some of that teenage energy came out in me.
Well, and I feel one of the biggest things with teenage energy is there is this impatience that just wants to move forward. And it was interesting when talking to them, really had to listen to them, because a lot of times they move in very interesting ways to deflect, to kind of neglect what's coming through, and then all of a sudden just listen. And I find that just by listening to them, it gave them that opportunity to be heard, and to also congratulate them, because there were moments that they said things that I turned around and I said, do you realize how important that is? And
because the high awareness, right?
And to recognize how important it is to recognize and celebrate how many times when a teenager comes forward and they may say something that may not mean something that big, but we catch it and we're like, wow, that is super, super amazing. That is like, for you to say that at your level of where you're at, to bring it back to them so that they're consciously aware. And they're consciously aware that they can fully resonate with what they said, because sometimes it's fun. Like Evan will say something, and before you know it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like pure like wisdom. But
yeah, I mean, he
neglects
would bring it up, and the thing is, I feel what's so important is that somehow, if you're in this incarnation, I don't know a single person that did not have challenge during their teenage years. And I feel one of the things that through our ascension that is happening, that inner child and the teenage years, through our emotional body, through the fluids of our body, through so much that was disempowered, the dysfunction, the oppression and depression, suppression, all of those things have surfaced just to give us the ability to um, really not make peace with it, but to address each one that is coming up, to liberate our own selves, because the aspects of ourselves is returning back home wherever it was stuck there. So, and I feel like me having teenagers, like it gives us constantly this ability, like, wow, to get in touch with that teenager part of us, how we address this, and giving us the opportunity of wisdom, or sort of like a navigation or a reminder to my children, or here are your options. Whereas I wish that was available to me. Though my grandmother and my mom did certain things, but there was so much that was missing. I really wish, I always tell my children, my God, here's a crystal hole. Here's this. Like they have so many, so much available to them. And they actually really value and appreciate it because the energy supports it. And I really love what Keon said, my older son, to Michael this week. He said, Michael, like, you are giving me permission to be a sensitive man. I'm very sensitive. And now I'm embracing my sensitivity because I didn't before. And so...
And if you give them, and I find within all teenagers, even the teenager within ourselves, if we give that safe space, it really gives them this sense of security. And I find a lot of times that sense of security then allows to open up further on what's to be expressed, because many times we're so tight and just trying to fit in, or trying to make that time to say, okay, how can I express myself without like overlooking my shoulder?
Right.
What I see with many teenagers, just trying to find their place. What's normal? How do I fit in? What's my image? All these questions, because they're still learning and growing, let alone all the hormones that are moving through. So it was wonderful in this week where Honey's former husband was out of town, that it gave the perfect...
And the kids were spending the night here, so we had just a lot of interaction.
It gave them the space to be safe. And it gave the
space
and
to express themselves, to then, without us saying, they themselves were on Thursday, they took a few days off, and then they came to their communication. But I feel like Wednesday was a very difficult day for me, because Wednesday is usually me and Michael's like day off, so we get to embrace this space, that our sacred flame, and play and whatever we need just for ourselves.
Just out of curiosity, if those that are watching, just for our own curiosity, my curiosity specifically, how was Wednesday?
How was Wednesday
for you guys? Because I feel like Wednesday I got thrown around so much and just flew and went with it. And I did a little post. I knew Saturn was going into its node and forward a picture, which a lot of people jumped into. But I was curious, like, if any of you felt any big shifts, if you felt triggered, if you felt upset, whatever may happen. I'm just checking in with the viewers that have been here. Was there anything that came up Wednesday? Because I don't know. Wednesday,
oh my gosh, so it was crazy. So Wednesday morning, it was just so nice. So there was a lot on my plate, because we're getting ready to go on our travel. I have to fulfill all the orders. I have had massive amount of requests for these sacred diamond code malas, and each one is custom made. So while I'm in this frequency, because I ended next week, so there's just a lot happening. And in the meantime, this was happening. My mom then last minute needed to go to the settlement, so we had to drive her. The traffic was so crazy. My mom was like, oh, we only have an hour, just some signatures. But Michael and I had, oh, by the way, my laptop died on Saturday night too. So I have so much to take care of, and I couldn't, my laptop wasn't working, so we had to go buy a laptop. Then I had on Tuesday, I was having lunch with my friend Kim. Then my other best friend Phil had come that had session with Michael, but he received his mail. So there was just a lot happening, quickly taking care of it while picking up my children. Just the plate was so full. So Wednesday, we went for my mom, and we went all the way to DC downtown, which the energy, as soon as you get in, it just never feels right. But we are where we are with it. And it was so crazy. I don't know what was happening on the road. I don't know what was happening with the traffic, but somehow my phone was dying. Michael's phone was dying. My son, who needed a ride, his phone was dying. Him and his brother were not talking. So who will pick him up? Battery was dying. So then it was like all these things trying to juggle. With my mom still taking time, and like it was so crazy just trying to figure out. And I kept saying, Michael, what is this irritation for? What's happening? But we couldn't access anything either. All I could feel is like, what is going on? The frequency feels so insane. So as a result of it, it took forever. The traffic, when we were coming back, I was like, middle of the day traffic, as if it was like 4 p.m. traffic. It made absolutely no sense, but enough, again, within the fields of irritation. So couldn't get through much, and I could feel all of this is happening. Meanwhile, Michael and I have a lot of things that we have to schedule between the clients. This weekend is packed. We have our Sacred Sunday spiritual service with our sacred sister Safi, who introduced us. She's the speaker, and then we have had all these last minute requests. It's already maxed out. Then just so much was happening, and we said, what's going on? We go from bliss to just craziness, right? And then on Thursday night, I actually slept relatively good, but I've been on the ships and on the ships concept. What was that dream I had that I was telling you? It was so crazy. Our meditation has been wild. And so anyway, Thursday, finally, my sons somehow communicated together, worked their things out together, which was amazing. We got to be together last night and just really embrace that. And on a personal level, I've been having the few individuals, while I'm creating these for them, they've been having all these experiences. Like one of the individuals, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary had come to her, show her these pyramids and all these things happening. So she's responding, reacting me. I'm feeling activated. She hasn't even received it, what I'm creating and what I'm activating. And the other orders are coming in. My God, I'm feeling this. All of these things are happening. I felt like I'm in the middle of like waves and waves of sort of like expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. And yesterday's light code transmissions were so insanely galactic, so galactic. While on top of it, I'm going to tell you, I woke up a few days ago very irritated because I had a dream that I was hired specially as a healer for Trump. And I'm not going to get into that because Michael doesn't want me to talk about it in detail, but it's a bit private. He says, though I'm a very public person, he feels it's very private, but I was specifically hired for something specific for him. And then there was this crazy dream where we had to rescue him and his little son, and all these warrior planes were coming
which is interesting,
onto the white lawn, and the dream was so crazy. I woke up so irritated. I was like, I have to clear this. So we went to nature just to clear this. So I was like, what is happening?
How interesting that you were having that with Trump, when international headlines, there's this, not to go too political because we don't usually go that level, but being Iranian,
I had no idea.
Iranian, and then just what's happening in the Middle East right now, it's just interesting to see what's happening multidimensionally. So,
but it was very clear that the healing had to go there. I was like, wow, look at this. And it was like, I was like, I don't want to be hired as a healer in the White House. That's not what I want. But it was very interesting where we were positioned. So anyway, make a long story short, I felt like things really shifted around. I feel really amazing today, Michael. So much gratitude, so much gratitude. My morning prayer, just the way when the sun was radiating, just the level of gratitude, like, wow, like here's this crystalline diamond heart from divine that's been extended down. And like, I feel I'm a custodian, caretaker of this. And from here, there is this frequency that is here to help lift where it's condensed and where it's tight, and to bring the greater awareness and to question, to have the ability to question. Like Michael and I, we had a time to question certain things last night, to come in this place of clarity. And what is important, and for me, these are all parts of it where the children are playing a part, that in which I would have reacted this way from the old energy, but within this template, I'm responding, and my response and my responding is with the grace of this crystalline diamond. And how amazing it feels, and then seeing how it's playing on a larger picture, and how without even the physical person being there, how the level of communication is being broadcast so wide, and how incredible it is. Like, I feel like those of us who are tapping this space, we tap into the ultimate treasure chest. As my girlfriend and I, Pamela, and I were talking yesterday, I was like, it feels like we've tapped into this frequency, and finally everything is coming to divine alignment. And divine alignment for me is the heart, because the heart has been missing. We haven't been hurting ourselves. We haven't been hurting each other. We haven't been hurting Mother Earth. We've been minding business left and right, minding it, materializing, giving attention to many thoughts, good or bad, as manifestors, but unconsciously creating so much destruction. And as we're hurting it, we cannot create destruction because it doesn't work that way. That frequency doesn't get. When we're hurting it, we're hearing it. And from there, when we give attention to its vision, we're materializing only the goods on earth. So I can see the magnificence of it. And while we're in it, and even when the triggers come, how with so much beauty and grace it's communicated through, because it's completely handled with that velvety, delicious, beautiful, gracious, like, heart. And sometimes when it is, it has to be also pretty firm and communicated. Like, if the person can't see their own BS, you're able to address their own BS. So there's an accountability in it to help expand the awareness, so other can see that within themselves.
And it's been a beautiful process, because I think we all feel that sometimes it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 steps back. So it's an interesting way of how this alignment and the energies that are moving forward are affecting, shifting, transforming, and then allowing us to move in the direction that we feel the most in our heart. And I find when these times become very, very busy, or when it becomes intense, I love the messages that Demetrius Sunshine, that yes, nature has been a phenomenal area just to allow the wisdom. There was a time when we came back Wednesday and Honey was on the computer, and I said, Honey, we just have to go out into nature, because there's so much.
I felt very irritable. My field.
There was so much happening within the streets. There was so much happening, and it's just powerful when we go into nature and we really take that time to listen and not speak. I do this on Sunday with the men's group. It's just take the moment to walk silently. And even as you're walking silently, see if you can silence the mind and have the ability to just listen and feel. Feel the energies coming through and see how we can just observe and be as present as possible. And in that presence, it's like this washing away of the nature. I mean, to me, it feels like it's integrating into my system.
Yes.
So everything that is moving through, nature's coming along and just marinating with it, so it can help balance it out.
And I feel that yesterday's insane storm with the trees going like this, like it was such a beautiful washing, because we can really feel like the magnificence of today welcoming what's happening. And I feel all of this is also preparing us for the summer solstice. We have an amazing solstice energy that is coming onto the planet that will be taking part. If you're in Washington DC metro area, please join Michael and I. We have an amazing event put together for the summer solstice on that Saturday the 22nd. Again, it's 622, another powerful gateway that we're going to be working with, and to help support this golden rose line. There's a lot happening. Anyway, so we're preparing, but all of this is part of that alignment. There's always these magnetic storms coming, the G storms. There's so many different levels, and I feel the one thing is to not get caught in is that as it is happening, becoming very aware, but not blaming it on this, taking the personal responsibility of what is being highlighted within. I feel a lot of time within our spiritual communities and within our ascension process, or those of us who are awakened as light workers, bringers of light and star seeds, we see something and we're like, oh, it's because of the full moon. It's like we put it on that, or because of the magnetic storms, and it gives us permission to act shitty. And with all due respect, I'm not okay with that. I feel like that has been assisting to bring things up in you for you to become aware and notice. Our ascension team is assisting with a lot of these rays of light that they're bringing onto the planet through the multiple frequencies. And when we're inside of them, we're able to interact with them. And our whole vibration is shifting. But like I shared on 2 weeks ago, all of the bodies have to come in that alignment. So what is being cleared on our physical body is being cleared on our emotional body, mental body, etheric body, and spiritual body. And everything is reuniting back to its purity and clarity. And this is very important. That's why when we're affected, because there's a part in us that's being purified. Literally, the sacred fire has ignited. The dragons are assisting us. The rays of light assisting us, and as a result of it, we're going through our own sacred initiation, transformation, transmutation, and the violet flame is doing so much of it. Those of us who are really tuned into the violet flame. So as a result of it, I feel it's very important not to keep making excuse. There's no difference. It's like, in 3D reality, we would put it, oh, I drank alcohol, so that gave me excuse to act shitty. And then what do we do in the higher consciousness? Oh, magnetic storms came, so I was acting shitty. Or, for example, I didn't sleep enough, I acted shitty. No, I feel like we're holding each other accountable. It's okay, we have slips too, but having really accountability for ourselves is very important, and not make excuses for ourselves anymore. Whatever it is no making excuses, but taking full accountability for each action that we're taking. So that way we recognize that's complete power that is being returned back to us. So, and behind it is the source of divine. Mm-hmm. Now, that's what I really wanted to share with that. And it is the full responsibility, because that's the part of the aspects that is returning. And then we no longer put it on our past life. We no longer put it in a future life. We no longer put it on who, she, he, whatever we were. And we don't put it on being Arcturian, Syrian, anything. We are a consciousness of source light that's streaming forth into this plane, in this now, and all parts of ourselves are being focused in the physical representation. So we're here to bring all of that through in this plane, and that is called the bringing the heaven on earth. So all that is being purified is part of that, which is not of the resonance of the alignment of the divine that we are. So anyway, Michael, do you want to see what has been written here? Let me see. Let's see. We're going to scroll up for a second. Okay, so here.
Okay, resonate, trust, center.
Lots of heart, lots of love, gratitude, love and gratitude. Thank you.
Houston, been to Mount Shasta once. Energy has been amazing. Yes, when we went to Mount Shasta, quite powerful, very huge energetic level.
Very powerful.
Thank you, Demetrius, for always sharing, for allowing your support, your love, and your honor. It's been a blessing to fully have you in all your energetic ways of just combining your love and participation for all of it. So thank you so much. It's just a lot of loves, a lot of
thank you,
and a lot of just connections with the nature of when meditating in nature. That's what I did this morning. Demetrius, I spoke at this earlier, just taking that time for the self and really honoring that within. So
so I feel that's so important, and just really wanted to know how you've been doing. Like Michael asked, was this week really what was, particularly Wednesday on this 522? That 2-2 was very interesting because that's a mastery gateway, and that way is what's being anchored in the 4. So there's a relations, and where are you in relations to things is very important. Relations to yourself, relation to your children, relation to your mother. So it was so interesting. Michael and I had like a total spoken out too, because both Michael and I are vegetarians, and my mom, because we were in the car and Michael was, he was exhausted. My mom, she has her own mentality that because we don't eat chicken or beef or whatever, that's where we're out of energy. So God bless her, she is where she is, but she doesn't accept us as vegetarians. So when we went to eat, she put a chicken without asking on Michael's plate, and Michael was too exhausted to say anything. And of course I was like, Michael, stand up for yourself. Michael hadn't. So this gave us an opportunity to really communicate through things. And of course, again, there was that part of my teenager, like the claiming the rights, like, okay, this is my truth. Like, how dare somebody not wanting to accept it? And if they don't want to accept it, okay, no problem, but the ability to really communicate truth. So it's been crazy. We've laughed a lot, lots of tears, I've had a lot of tears and amazingness. And then also the other part of it, like just a lot of compassion for each other. There's so much compassion for each other. And you saw, I was juggling so much this week, and sometimes it is exactly that, and then being also so supported, like beyond words can express.
Yeah, it's interesting when things start to speed up and when you're challenged or tested. I mean, I learned a really important one this week of just stating the truth and being firm, no matter if my mind wants to think it's disrespectful or not, just to stand up in your truth. And even though you have a beautiful mother-in-law that's doing her nice, beautiful way
she
of
comes
sharing,
from the traditional old way, like whatever I have, I'm going to put it on your plate, but I'm not even going to ask you.
Right. And so for me, sometimes saying nothing can also get you in trouble. So it's very important to express the truth, obviously with compassion, with grace, with the energies that come forth, and then I have a conversation. I had a conversation with myself, I had a conversation with Honey, and had a conversation with her just to create clarity, so there's no more miscommunication. But people will always do what they do, and
but exactly, and that's part of us. So the point, that was the part Michael and I were talking. I said, Michael, people are going to do what they're going to do, but do you have what it takes for you to communicate your truth from your grace, your presence, but like not to be passive, ignoring it. That's not it either. To be confrontational, that's not it either. Can you It's a gift you give to yourself when you can communicate your truth, because this voice box is a huge part of our ascension on earth. We're not going to be using this when we're in our other bodies. It's not used, just like the touch is not used, just like the food is not used, just like so many things. Feeling like this is not used in the other bodies. This must be used here. And the reason why it's placed here, the vocals, is because it's coming in and it has to be brought in. And a lot of times we're not communicating what is from all of our bodies through here, because we're blocking it, because we have been taught not to express. And we each have come into incarnations just so that we can break these patterns and to learn to express and communicate. Be in communication comes from this union, right? And we call it the telecom, whatever. It's the frequencies that are coming in, so that transmission is brought forth, because the sound vibration is here. When we bring in the feeling into it, has geometric patterns that are able to shift first within ourselves, then somebody else. And when we're able to heart it, we're able to create the massive healing portal that is coming out. So it becomes very important. And too often people, because they're disempowered, or because they feel insecure, or because they feel shy or embarrassed or whatever, they become passive. They don't, and they feel like, well, it's better I just don't say anything because I ignore it. And that is not active hearting, I feel.
Right. We have to express what we feel. If we hold it within, then it just keeps bubbling up for a future date. So it's very important. And I find it's interesting when we look at, this fifth dimensional frequency, where does it have to come through? Our fifth chakra. And this fifth chakra, it's very, very important to express it, and not only express it, but to feel it, which comes through our heart and allows us to speak from our own truth and authenticity.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's been in a nutshell for us. So much going on, and a lot going on. So we have, just to give you guys an idea, because we've had people ask several things. Are we willing to come, let's say, to Oregon? Would we be willing to come to, let's say, like, who was the other person that has? Yeah. So we have what's coming up in about 10 days. We'll be back in Long Island. If anybody's Long Island, join with us. We'll be back in our community of light, and I have the light code transmissions as a group that I'm facilitating, and Michael is facilitating the Archangel Michael transformational healing. Then we're back, and then we go to Toronto. We're so excited to go to Toronto. Finally, this alignment has happened, because last year we couldn't, since we were on the standby with Michael's father's transition. So we finally will be able to go and meet this community of light, thanks to our dear beloved sister Maida. So we're so looking forward to it. And we're organizing right now August and September, so we'll announce it with you, because we're in the middle of so much. And this coming Friday, we'll be back with Todd and Morgan Friday night at 6 o'clock on Sology. So we're looking forward to some of that communication that we'll be having this coming Friday. And if you are around on Sunday, our sacred sister Safi, she's a musician. She has written songwriter. She's so profound, and she's very much about the plant medicine music. And I've had the honor of facilitating with her separately a few times. Michael, together with her, we facilitated, and most importantly is she introduced us. So she'll be sharing some of her powerful, amazing voice and music on Sunday, and it will be live and it's free. We have our group here, then we'll have a veggie potluck afterwards. So please join us. It's going to be just so amazing. I can't wait for you all to hear the power behind her voice.
Yeah, she has a very, very powerful voice, and one that when you really listen to her, she exudes every single feeling. It's a blessing because it was 2.5 years ago that
on November 16th.
November 16th that I met her at a center of spiritual living. And when I met Safi, it was great to, when you ever see someone that's just playing, but you can feel them in full spirit. And that full spirit was amazing, just to watch her energy just come out and just go into her music and into the group. So we know that she travels a lot and she does a lot around the country and East Coast. So to have her at one of our gatherings, it is a blessing.
And she goes to Peru and also Miami. So we're so excited this program. So please join us so you can see it. And I wanted to introduce a sacred friend. Some of you may have seen, but she arrived. I talked about her on my live stream. This is Azura. She is a lavender amethyst dragon that I've been looking for a special dragon to help support me with the activations of these sacred diamond code crystalline malas and bracelets I've been creating. So I couldn't be more excited that when I found her. It took a while for her to come from Botswana, and here she is. So she's been utilizing and being here in the support of that. So I just wanted to introduce her to all of you. And have you been experiencing anything with her? You haven't had much interaction?
I haven't had her yet.
No. Not yet. Okay. So that is that. And anything you all want to share? We haven't heard really much from you.
Demetrius, our blessings go to your uncle. He said he transitioned 9 days ago.
Oh, so wow. Our lots of love to your uncle.
And celebrating him on the other side, as it's always a blessing that we can know that, as you know, Demetrius, they are now helping you and communicating.
That's right.
So thank you for sharing that.
And let me see anything else. I can't see all the responsibilities, so that's good. Well, the light. So we're not finished yet because we're going to do our prayers now. We have a shorter one today. So as usual, Michael offers the angelic prayers for us. So do you know which day it is?
Today is, I don't know the exact date, but I just opened up to the first one that came to here. So I'm going to read, take your time.
Okay. So with this, if you can just please join us, place your hands in your hearts, and just let us take a deep in breath in. And breathing out.
Take your time. You become so accustomed to rushing to meet all your responsibilities that it's almost an ingrained habit to go fast. Yet scurrying from one task to the next doesn't win any contests or engender peace of mind. Rather, it keeps you focused on the future instead of on enjoying the present moment. Reading this message is one way that you're taking good care of yourself. You're nourishing your soul and creating healthful new outlets. But we angels want you to make more of an effort to move less quickly throughout the day. Accomplishing what you need to and taking your time aren't mutually exclusive activities. You can get a lot more done when your energy and mood are soaring with vigor that come from enjoying yourself. This happiness is built on noticing the beautiful, funny, and poignant features of your day, and that requires taking your time so that these details become clear. You can also ask others to help you with your needs and responsibilities and include requesting assistance from us. Enjoy your time today. So here's the thought for today. Okay. Repeat after me as I say this. I take my time and approach my day
I take my time and approach my day
with wonder and delight,
with wonder and delight,
noticing the rich fabric of each moment.
noticing the rich fabric of each moment.
It's okay for me to slow down.
It is okay for me to slow down,
as I can accomplish all that I need at a leisurely pace.
as I can accomplish all that I need to take care of at a leisurely pace. I hope so it is. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one for today, for sure. And okay, so we're going to bring a message from the Ascension card by Diana Cooper as it's cleared. First, there's so many spirit energies now. Let's see. Archangel Metatron's retreat. Archangel Metatron's retreat is above the Temple of Luxor, Egypt, where he holds the ascension energy for the world. He maintains this energy by bringing forward spiritual discipline. He suggests you commit to a spiritual practice if you do not already have one. Luxor is the spiritual throat chakra of Earth. As it ascends, people will communicate higher wisdom and link telepathically with all life forms. You are asked to send love and wisdom to all sentient beings. This card invites you to visit Metatron's retreat in your sleep to accelerate your spiritual growth. And the affirmation is, I am visiting Metatron's retreat in my sleep tonight.
I am visiting Metatron's retreat in my sleep tonight.
I am. So here it is, so that you can see it. It's a good one. And the only other thing I wanted to do real quick, I wanted to bring just for a second speak about this frequencies that is coming onto the planet that I'm working with.
Sure.
If you like to share whatever you like, Michael.
I'm just, I know today has been a little more inward for me. As I said at the beginning of the show, it's always good to honor what's being moved through. So today has been a day that I just feel a lot of energies move through me in my own processing, and my own feelings. So today has been a little more quieter than normal because of just what I've been feeling in that process. So thank you guys for honoring that as HoniB brings for beautiful frequencies of art.
So most of you know that this month of May I have been predominantly taken off to dedicate in creating the transmissional arts that are coming in, but the transmissions, and create them in art form and infuse them into the creations or this. So some of you had seen this, and this is with different language of light and the codes that are coming in. And these are the fleet ships. The one of them has to do with the Arcturians, and you'll see they're different ones. I have to create 12 of them. These are the first set of transmission, first one, second transmission, and there's more that has come in. I don't know where my little paper is. There are other ones that I'm going to be drawing next week. And what's important, the colors. Of course, there's a lot of gold, because that's what I typically see. Everything is code and is in movement and it is shifting and moving and what have you. But these are very powerful activators, because these particular colors, these blues with a bit of the pink, represent the divine mother, sovereign beingness that is in the center of the universe, that is giving all of us the opportunity to move into our center. The giant mother dragon has awoken, and there's a lot of that coming in. And some of these, particularly this one, is very much dedicated to Arcturian, the Arcturians and the Syrians, also El Moria and Archangel Michael, together with the Christ frequency of the Magdalene Yeshua codes. So there's so much in here, and when I receive them coming in, I'm inside of this that is moving around from many different, from 5th to 12th dimensional frequency, and then somehow there's a transmission sound that is created, then I have to create it here. And this one, there's a bit more with the purple that is coming in through, still with a lot of the pink. And the pink is really represents the innocent that is flowing in. The gold represents the alchemy. We're becoming alchemized as we are transforming in our ascension, transcending all of this density back into light. That is one thing that's happening. And a lot of the triangles and or the pyramids that you see and the diamond, this all has to do with the crystalline diamond bodies around Mother Earth, around all consciousness life, around ourselves, around all of our organs, where the crystalline diamond frequency of the one's mind and heart is radiating outward. This is why this is so, because it's very centered in horizontal and vertical axis. So that's what I'm referring from. And also the seer is able to see clearly. So the vision, everything is becoming very clear. We're becoming clear channels, clear vessels of transformation. So this is what's taking place, plus the other ones, while I'm creating these or personalizing it for an individual, because it's either this or this I have to bring in. And the other part of it obviously is the private sessions, which this month I had put very limited because I needed to anchor it. When it's in materialized, especially with the crystals, I'm able to have it infused. And one of the other things that was inspired that came through, those who I'm creating from scratch these, and it's personalized and they're coded with like the Magdalene codes in here, I was inspired to tell the individuals, Michael and I are going to be documenting whichever of these transmissional ones that individual. Couldn't be more grateful and honored to be a facilitator, as a transmitter, as an activator. And I feel it's so important. Not everybody is assigned to be a transmitter. Not everybody is assigned to be an activator. If you know that's your call, then you honor it. And it's not to chase it or anything like that. I am able to see, and I'm able to hear, and I'm able to access, and I'm able to deliver it in the codex of light into this plane. So that's a role that I can't deny. And I feel the greatest gift has been, Michael, really, you gifting me this gift of the space that I can create.
And it's been beautiful.
You know, I mean, really, like I couldn't be more grateful, because this is a part of me that as a child and teenager was so shut down, and it's where I feel the most alive in. Like, you've seen me like so sizzling around creating, because I'm interacting with the frequencies and I'm bringing it literally through myself, through the creations, and it can.
Honey, she has a immaculate, brilliant way of creation, because when she's in it, there's very few people that I see that when you're in it, she dedicates every aspect of herself into the creations. And then when they come through, it's not only just an activation, it is a beautiful, incredible display of her
dazzling and radiance, and so beautiful, because we're dealing with divine. So how can I shortchange it? It's the highest quality. Right. You gotta go in there, like, beautiful. You know, and I feel being a Taurus, I'm ruled by Venus beauty. Like I radiate in that, because I feel it is that presence that's radiating divinity.
Mm-hmm.
When it's contracted, it doesn't radiate. And that's what makes me feel so, the life force is so thank you, my love. And I love how you're like, I want that one too. I want that one too. I want that one too. And you can't. We have enough.
It's my expression of joy.
So anyway, so I just wanted to share that because some of you had asked about it, and so that's what's happening on this end. And I look forward to creating the other 10. So when it is 12, I'll be able to put like a exhibit together. And I've had several people ask, can we please buy it? Not yet. When I've complete all 12, then yes, it's available for purchase. And I'll be making cards with them, because just to have the card is Activator. It is an Activator. And any of you are interested, I can take a picture. Just email me. I can just a picture, just so you can just even have a picture of this living transmission. It's very powerful to put it on your altar. It will help support your light body and your light body integration. So anyway, anything else, Michael? Shorter one today?
Shorter one today. I'm feeling the frequencies today, so
okay. So much love to all of you. Let us go ahead and close up with a prayer here as we welcome Divine Mother Creator, Divine Father Creator, the source of all light of illumination, and our Ascension team to continue to help support us, expand our consciousness, expand our heart, expand our bodies, expand and lift the density out of our fields so we can truly feel the grace and the presence of the Almighty that we have been extended from, we are created from. We are the extension of this sparkling, dazzling ray of light here in human form, so that our garment can shine and radiate the most magnificent presence of the ray of light through us. We ask to be fully supported by our angelic team and the masters and the Kohans and all the higher dimensional beings to make themselves more closer available to us as we raise our field of awareness and consciousness so we can make contact, and to know we've never been alone, we'll never be alone. We are one big field of love that is here to unify this love vibration and bring it on earth to take part in the transformation of Gaia back into her light state, back into where she is, back into where we are, and bringing all of those transmissions here so that we can all truly live in joy, in beauty, in harmony, in richness, because these are the virtues that we already come from. We don't have to develop them. It's already been extended to us. May we be supported and loved with each courageous step that we take to honor our truth, honor our heart, honor this ascension journey. Not an easy one we sign up for, but we all have each other. And may we embrace fully the magnificence and the grace that we already are, and handle ourselves as the ultimate sacred jewel that is the custodian from God, from divine source light here on earth, so we can handle it with such preciousness. So aho namaste and lakesh, mauresh, hash everyone. Love to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here with us. And if you enjoy what we share, please feel free to share it. Demetrius, you're amazing. You always share.
Thank you, Sunshine Love, for all the beautiful comments. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And thank you for the new ones that were here. We're so grateful to you. This video link in a little while will be available on our Facebook page, and you're welcome to share it. And we'll see you in 2 weeks in Smithtown, Long Island. But Michael will not. Michael will be in session, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna have contact with Jack. Yeah. So much love.